Yo, Chris, did you see the update from Ben?
Oh, yeah, I commented. All I put was okay, period. Because, but no, I saw his mom liked it too. But no, it's his back is,
It's come
yeah,
up.
Come
yeah.
up,
It's
come
come up.
up.
Dude, even in person, he looks like the last time I saw him, which was a couple weeks ago. He's looking just so much fuller. Like
Yeah.
he's a big dude now, and I couldn't say that before, but I mean, I started
He's
we started
still
working out.
little.
What was
He's
that?
still little.
No, he.
He's
Hey,
little.
he is. Hey, Ben, if you're watching this, you are still tiny, but he's definitely thicker. He's looking
No,
real
he's
good.
definitely put on a lot of
Yeah.
size. A
Yeah.
lot of size. I just hope. Who is he still coaching by Ryan?
Yeah, I think so. But
Yeah.
I know he handles a lot of the stuff that he does. Like Ben is very hands-on in his own prep, so I know he makes a lot of decisions. But
I want to make sure he gets that to stick.
yeah, yeah.
Even though he's been working hard for it, I
Yeah.
know how he diets.
Do you think he diets a little bit more extreme in order to get to that conditioning?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He admitted to it this
Yeah.
last year. Yeah.
I
that's
think
the thing. So when you diet like that, and you put on all this size, you better not diet like that going to the O.
what
That's why what I think he should do is do a warm-up show for
he
sure.
always does that. Like he did Daytona last year. He did not look that good at Daytona and then went on to the Olympia and looked the lights out. So
Yeah.
again, I think he's still
Which
fine-tuning.
that's what I'm doing too. So whoever trying to pop in at any show early at the O, I feel sorry for you.
Wait. Do you know what show yet?
Nope. I ain't gonna say it.
You gonna hurt some people.
People are
Come
gonna
to
be in the
Florida.
comments again.
Come to Florida, Daytona. But
The thing is, bro, I just know my body peaks very well after two shows. And it's
yes.
the same thing like from Arnold to Boston.
Yeah.
Um what was that show? Arnold to Pittsburgh. Like my body just
Yeah.
I
No,
think peaks well after a warm-up show.
bro, I it's the same thing with me. My second show of the year is always better. Always better.
I'm
I
the
don't know what
same
it
way.
is, man. It's like I get close for the first one, and then it's like my metabolism revs up like crazy going into the second one. And I'm able to eat so much more food, drop so much weight, fill out, get that saran wrap look.
It's because of that
Hey,
that spike carb and sodium
I was about to ask
after.
you that. I was gonna say, did you have any refeeds or anything before your shows? Because
Mm-mm.
what that couple days of that reset of having all those obviously nutrients, like you're saying, the sodium, the food, you're
Yep,
getting basically a whole body reset. You go back into the gym, dude, your body's a furnace. You're going to look so much more
crazy.
conditioned, tighter, fuller. And
Yeah.
that's, I feel like everyone makes that mistake. They don't do like a mock run before their actual show.
Yes,
And then they come in
yes. A mock
flash,
is
you know? Yeah.
needed. A mock is needed.
Bro, and that's the thing. Like when you say mock peak, do you guys do like just same foods increase
Yeah.
like you would traditionally do? Or do you throw in like dirty refeeds or something?
No, it's always same.
Yeah.
Always clean.
Yeah.
You won't ever see cuts do a crazy dirty
No.
load up
No?
I think the worst thing he has us on before like shows would be
sushi.
like an egg McMuffin. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
something like that.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
that's it. You don't do the pancake. You don't do
No.
that crazy shit.
You see a lot of people, a lot of young kids nowadays doing that kind of stuff too. I think
Chick-fil-A
Yeah,
burgers. That's
you
what they
have to
do.
be peeled to be able to get away with it. Like you have
yeah.
to be, I'm talking like inside
But
out.
even then, like you don't. The thing is, bro, and that's why a lot of peeled guys don't place very well because they do that and they don't know what the fuck their body is going to do or react. And then
Mhm.
that's what happened. Yeah, they may be hella peeled in, but as soon as they get under them lights, it's a totally different story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bro, because you got to
They're eating
understand,
things that they haven't ate.
I'm not the most conditioned guy in the world, but I've won a Mr. Olympia and two Arnold Classics.
that's true.
I've never been on that stage, never been the most conditioned ever. So it's not, again, I mean, we can talk about if it's, oh, is it the conditioning? Is it this? Is that? It's the best package on that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Balance.
All right. Do you think Brandon had the best package at New York Pro?
No,
Hey,
no.
Alex, tell him what I said. Tell him what I said at the gym to you. What was going to happen?
I
I
don't know.
already knew it was going to happen. It's a
I said
storyline,
Oh, you
bro.
this.
did say that. You did say that.
Hey, I said Edvon. He asked me who I thought should win. I was like, Edvon, I think is going to win. But I go, you know what? I go, what's going to happen is they're going to give Brandon the win because he looked better than last week. And everyone was so impressed last week, whatever it was. I was like, they'll hand him the win. And
he did.
But I mean, again, he won it, so
exactly.
It's not taking nothing away from him, but I do feel Ed Vaughn brought a fucking sick package to beat him.
Yeah. You were there in person, Drew. What did you do?
Yeah. So I know there was a lot of controversy with people talking about how Edvin's core wasn't contracting as much, because I saw a lot of comments online. It mainly comes from the people that weren't there. Seeing his core in person and actually comparing it to the previous week in Pittsburgh, stage lighting is always different, depends on where you sit. Being able to see him this close, seeing him pose, I mean, it was his best ever. You know, and I know Ariel was confident with it being his best ever as well. The thing is, Brandon also improved a lot from Pittsburgh. His back still was a little underwhelming to his front, but his front was like a knockout in the show, you know, going back to probably like prime Brandon, right? But still, Edvin wasn't completely knocked out from the front. Brandon won the front pose, but Edvin was still pretty close. He still has a really, really solid front pose, but Brandon had more of that taper. Now the back, you know, Edvin was so much more complete and more imbalanced to the front. Brandon still didn't have the back that was up to par to match the front. Therefore, that's why I had Edvin winning. Brandon won. I congratulated him, talked to him for a little bit. He did say that, you know, when he went into Pittsburgh, he never thought he would win. It was the goal to win, but he's like, you know what? I got kinks in my armor. Got to work it out a little bit, especially when you take that time off, you know. But he did say that coming into this show, he did
in those interviews.
Wait. You said Brandon said that?
He wasn't saying that in those interviews.
I'm just saying what he said to me. And, you know, he said when he came into Pittsburgh, you know, he had some flaws, and he saw that after it lit the fire underneath him to come into New York with a better look, and it was much improved. I'm not talking like 10%. I'm talking like 15, 20%.
Yeah.
He was much improved. The posing was better. The shorts, that from the top to bottom, everything was perfect.
You notice he got his shorts hemmed? It looks like
I was actually talking to Chula about that today. You know, you got a lot of these sponsors with guys, for example, a 3-time Mr. O that has a lot of years as a decorated, you know, superstar in this sport in this division, and they kind of had just like a one size fits all for shorts. You know, you start working with a company that really knows what they're doing, you know, they're going to kind of customize it for that specific person, you know, and it seems like he hemmed it himself, but you know, it's cutting the logo off and stuff like that. But
you know, they're working with the wrong company. They need to come fuck with Manifest to wear with them bullshit ass shorts they be wearing on stage.
Aaron, that's exactly what we had to do with yours. We got yours custom made right before you went out.
It's part of the presentation. You have to have everything match. And, you know, sometimes it takes, you know, other companies that you work with to see what looks best on your body and what isn't. And, you know, it's just one of those things where he took the feedback and the shorts, you know, even Tyler said, even without the shorts being that short, he still was going to be where he placed in Pittsburgh, but improving and coming out with this and a much improved posing routine with a much improved front. And even so the back, it was, you know, I still had Edvin winning, but you know, he still got it. You know, I congratulated him. So New York Pro champ.
Let me ask you something, Drew. Did you notice something? And I want to start it from the beginning. Did you notice anything different from Brandon when he initially walked out? Is there anything that stands out to you compared to what you've seen from him traditionally in the past?
Honestly, I haven't watched too much of him. Like as the past, as far as what, like Pittsburgh recently, or like back in.
What was okay? Let me ask you this: me and you had insight on backstage, right? So we saw backstage. What vibe did you get from Brandon right before he walked out on Pittsburgh?
I mean, he was confident. He was dancing around. You know, he was
exactly.
Yeah, so he was definitely more, I would say, professional. It's cool to be eccentric when you come out on stage. But it's the same thing with Banks when he walked out on Pittsburgh. And these guys need to take notes on this. You come for a showing, you got to come out, walk that center box, and you hit it. It's good to kind of have that vibe, but sometimes there's too much to where it could affect you and takes the attention off of you on stage, and the judges start being like, okay, it's a little bit too much. We're not looking at the physique anymore. We're just looking at all this extra stuff you're doing.
Yeah, and we've seen that him do that in the 2023 Olympia when he was doing all of this arm swinging and stuff. But that's
He did it
the
in 2022 too.
yeah. So that's the one thing I've noticed. He looked more timid walking out on stage, bro. He didn't have that confidence that he typically has. And I don't know if it's because he's coming off of a loss, if he's not confident with the look. Clearly a better look than he brought in Pittsburgh. But I don't know, man. I felt that energy shift completely when I saw not only the video.
I didn't take it as not as much confidence. I think
Like
that
just
he
second
just
guessing a
It
little
just
bit.
yeah, this like let me see. Maybe we can find like some shots where he was walking
it's
out.
just not what we're used to seeing him do. And I think now he was just really like it seemed like he was zoned in on what he had to do, and it was just not having any hiccups. That's the
Yeah,
vibe that I got from it.
yeah, it's a mental thing, I think, from his standpoint. So if you take that long off and then you do your first show, and you've been champion many times before and you're winning all these shows, and then you take a loss and your first time back from a while, I just know from personal, like I've done it with my torn pec, you start to question yourself a little bit. You're like, hey, like, and you're also getting older. I mean, he's getting up in age now, and you start thinking, do I have it? Like, not to throw Andre under the bus, but like Andre's starting to place worse and worse, and you start to think to yourself, like, hey, is this where my career trajectory is going?
Yeah.
And to bounce back from something like that and to win is, I give him big props for that, because that's very hard to do mentally, to come back from a loss like that where you thought you were going to go in, and not only a loss, but you got fourth place.
Yeah.
And then you come into the show the next week.
He's also the guy that has lost the Olympia and got it back. So, he's used to being the underdog, and kind of having that perseverance. And it's the same thing with a lot of us. I know Alex has experienced it. Banks has experienced it, so we're all similar in that aspect, right? And at this level and being experienced.
Quit saying Brandon old. That nigga my age. I'm not old.
I said older. Older.
Cut that shit out.
I think I guess the order that he had wasn't as if he's a three-time champion, I guess. No matter what the fuck happened the week prior, it doesn't matter, bro. Like, I've known Brandon for having that energy every time he walks out on stage. And I'm happy.
Yeah, same.
I feel like he's going to have it again in Miami. It's his hometown. At least where he lives.
This was a redeeming show for him. And now it's almost like
mentally,
it could be a little setback. And then you get back into it. And then you're like, okay, because it was like that with Miami last year.
Yeah.
My first show of the year was Optimum. I was really off, probably the most off I've ever been with dealing with the weight cap and travel issues. Going to Miami, I'm fuller, but I don't think it was rewarded, and I'm not going to complain about the placings, but I didn't think I deserved to be sixth with the look that I brought. But I kept working. Next week, 6 days after, I went to Toronto and I won it. So you get that confidence back, even when you lose it. But then you got to remember that anything happens, man. There's a lot of guys that move back. You look at Victor Ramirez, who I believe was 9th at Pittsburgh, just moved into the 5th spot. Whenever there's guys like Banks is out of the show, was out of the show at New York, and then Vitor was out. But it was also like those places where we placed with like a guy like Andrei Deiu. Like, you still have some hitters that are in that conversation. So when one guy gets out of the show, that same lineup, it's the same lineup, but then you were replaceable. Like, you had Benny in the mix, you had other Olympians that were still taking up some of these share spots, so these shows are always going to be competitive.
Still different caliber.
It is, but they're still like in that top 3. I mean, it does change, but it's still, that top 5 getting into it. I mean, Victor Ramirez still moved up a lot, and he also improved as well. Ricardo Sinet, I thought he was insanely full from the back. The only thing that I could say that he would need is the chest fullness, because he's so wide and his limbs are longer. That chest fullness you could see in this lineup with guys that probably have some of the best chests in the league. He just looks like he's not hanging with them. So that's the one thing, especially with his frame, like having the longest limbs and stuff like that. He could,
but I think he looked better last week.
I agree.
Better last week.
He was a little bit. He's still just as conditioned. When you're there in person, you could see, like in pictures here, you can't see his back kind of looks a little bit soft, but he had vascularity from top to bottom. I just think it wasn't the best lighting, especially some of these pictures that were displayed on Instagram, so especially like from the feed, it's you can't even watch that.
Yeah, no, and I 100% agree. I think he was lights out. I think he was at his all-time best in Pittsburgh last week. So expecting that potentially better coming into New York, I don't think he necessarily nailed that. But the one thing I will say is his floor seems to be a lot higher than it was last year. Do you remember how he would throw himself off in his posing, how he went from, almost winning a show to literally not even in damn near the first call out, at another show in, I think, Phoenix or something along those lines, right? His
Mile High, he was out of the top 5 after placing 4th in Miami, which Tyler Mannion said was the strongest
he's a
lineup.
lot more consistent now.
That's what it
He's
is.
The
consistent with his
confidence is
look.
building up. The confidence is building up. You see it with him. He comes out, his presentation's better. He just looks a lot, he looks a lot better, not only physically, but the confidence as well. He
Yeah.
used to come in and just kind of walk and keep his head down, but now he's coming out and he's actually showing that.
And one thing I love about him, man, people forget, like he's young, right? He's new to this. He literally just turned pro last year, and there's already talking about him, moving up at the Olympia. But he's he's a sponge right now, bro. Every time I see him at a show, he's asking me, "Hey, what did you see? What can I do better?" And I remember last year was an issue with him flexing his chest. He's double confirming he's not doing that. The kid is just,
Tampa, I remember.
yeah, exactly. He just wants to get better, man. I'm excited to see him compete back in Miami, in what next week. But
I didn't think his back could get any better, but it
when he
did.
puts it together, he will definitely be a top 3 guy.
yeah,
What do you think he needs, Banks?
He needs chest. He needs to learn how to pose. He got to be confident.
Yeah,
I would say also holding the
it's
poses.
it's stage presence, man. That's one thing that I do believe that sets me apart from a lot of people is stage presence.
yeah. Chris, do you think that his physique is limited?
I don't think any physique is limited, to be honest. I've seen people go from having absolutely terrible structures to all of a sudden turning things around. I mean, I think Drew will be a perfect example of that this year because, in my opinion, I think Drew's back was absolutely horrid 2 or 3 years ago. And now you start to see videos and you're like, I had somebody come up to me. Actually, it was one of my clients. He's a heavyweight bodybuilder, and he comes up and he goes, "What do you think of Drew's back?" And I was like, "Oh, it's pretty damn good." He's like, "Bro," he's like, "top 3 back in men's physique." I'm like, "Bro, calm down."
Not that high. Not that
calm
high.
down now, buddy.
Now, the front, yeah, I would say maybe the front and the top 6, right? But not back.
So where I'm getting at is that back a couple years ago, you wouldn't have never been in a conversation in anyone's mouth of having a great back physique.
And I wasn't. And I also knew it, but that's what catapulted me into the position I'm in. Like I always question, like genetically, like I told Ari, I go, do you just think like it's something that I just can't improve because of the lat insertions, the traps, the off center, the injuries that I've had over time? And he's like, well, you could always improve it, but you don't have a traditional back. You have more of a hardcore back, So
Yeah,
it's just filling in some of the gaps that you have. And once we started doing it, he even said, he goes, I didn't even think that we could improve it as much as we did. And we did.
So that's where I'm trying to get at. So a lot of the times whenever people use genetics as a excuse, it's all mental and they'll never get there, right?
Mhm.
They're not going to
I don't
do the work that you did.
Hold on. I don't mean in his physique progressing. I'm talking about compared to the current landscape and the guys coming up, is his physique limited in beating these guys? Like, even if he's maxed out, even if he maxed out his weight cap, whatever it is, does he have what it takes structurally,
He
condition?
can beat all 3 of them.
Yeah,
Easy.
I was going to say, if he
He
fills
just
out
needs
that
to refine everything as far as the weight cap doesn't mean anything. Cause I just talked to Sadiq and Ryan Terry on Friday and, it's crazy how much density they say, hey, you're so much denser, but I'm literally the same weight as I was last year, right before the Olympia when I saw Steve. So it's not even about the weight cap. It's just like refining everything that you already have and the things that you don't necessarily need. You could kind of cut back a little bit, still make them look all in proportion, but you focus on the things that you lag a little bit. And for him, it's mainly the chest and the high lat insertions, but there's little tweaks you could do even with posing that could make it pop a little bit better and be 5% better every single time you step on stage. And you never know, you could catch somebody slipping a little bit. And we've seen it happen so many times. So he's still in these call outs. Look at how far he came from last year to now with these improvements. And he already had a crazy back, but is getting better and better and better with time. So he applies that same method to his front, and everybody has a stubborn muscle that they train that doesn't necessarily develop as fast as other things. Like for me, it was my back, but I found a way, and I know he could too if he just puts the recipe together.
So I think he has a very similar physique as Corey Morris in terms of uniqueness, right? But I think Corey version is like, the Charizard version of Charmander, right? I think there's still some evolution that needs to happen to Ricardo's physique to be on the same level. But I also feel like if Corey is the maxed out version and he's 6th place at his highest, which to me is still a shock, like that's more of the question where it's like, I would put Corey beating Ricardo any day, right?
Mm-hmm. But Corey has what Ricardo doesn't.
But doesn't have. He has the fullness, rounded bubbliness, right? He has the back.
They have similarities as well as far as the caricature look. When they come out, it is a freaky look. And that's what Tyler said about Ali. You know, when you come out and it's like, wow, Ricardo has that. And when he's alone by himself, it's like you can't pick up a flaw. But when you see him in a lineup like this, then you really see it. Because every guy that came out this weekend, you know, that was in that top 5, top 4, you're like, holy shit, like this guy's got it, until you see them next to each other. And it's like, okay, now I see the difference. Because they were all somewhat similar in height. You know, there's usually a short guy or a tall guy. We saw it in Pittsburgh. You know, it's like Aaron, Vitor, and then Edvin. And then there's differences in height, you know, but here you see it more consistent.
Yeah, I love his physique, but again, I'm excited to see this kid maxed out. I know he's somewhat closer to his weight cap, but yeah, he's going to be fighting to follow this year. All right, tell us about Andrei Deiu. I wasn't there in person, bro. Like, there was a lot of hype surrounding his comeback.
Okay.
Did it live up to the expectation?
I would say, yeah, with the time that he took off and still being a top 3 and beating a Ricardo who's improving and beating a lot of guys that are Olympians, it shows that Andrei Deiu is still in the mix. The biggest thing that I notice is proportions, right? You notice that top, the top 2, the proportions. It's very hard. You could pick out some weaknesses on both ends, you know, as far as structure, it could be a back or whatever. But Andrei Deiu has a blaring misbalance. I noticed with his delts specifically in the back pose. He has a very thick back, but his back is so developed that his rear delts don't pop and it kind of throws off his taper. I think his chest is really, really dominant. And his biceps are really dominant from the front. And he has a little, his waist isn't, it's small, but it kind of looks thick by the way that he poses. It kind of pops out, like his lower obliques look a little bit thick. So he doesn't look as balanced as some of the other guys, especially when he's next to these guys. You know, when he first came out, I did notice they could use a little bit more detail in his obliques. He is peeled, but I think it's just hitting it a little bit more, bringing out more of the lines, because 1 and 2 had it. But I definitely think the shoulders need to come up to match the chest and the massive biceps.
And what do you see he needs to improve on?
No, I don't even think he needs to grow rear delts. His posing is just not good.
It could be the posing as well.
He has a phenomenal fucking shape. He just doesn't know how to present it.
Yeah.
Like it's all there. You have the arms. He has shoulders. You can see the fucking rear delts blaring right there. You can see his. He
has them, but in comparison to the biceps.
Yeah. Oh man.
I mean, we're not comparing rear delts to biceps, though. That's the thing. So even in a back pose, you're not gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, his rear delts don't match his biceps. You know. So I just think
I meant the back pose. His rear delts look small and compared to the back pose. Because it doesn't look like when he's next. Go back to the lineup, Alex, just so I could kind of explain it, because it's
popping delts in the back pose is what he's trying.
So it takes away from his taper when you look at the other guys a little bit. See how it kind of just looks like that's what he's missing when you look at his physique.
Look at how he's posing. Look at his back.
Right.
He's like
that pose is horrendous.
That's
not a back pose. So it's not gonna show how everyone else's is, because his arms are down like this, and it's like he's trying to shrug his back up.
Yeah, you look at Ed Bonds compared to him. That's the correct way to do that.
So the thing is, I feel
he needs to
just. And I know Steve told him what to do and what a back pose was, but for Andrei Deiu to have that much muscle in his back, he needs to elevate his chest and rotate his lats to the front. And it's not going to take away from your back, but your back is already thick as fuck.
He's dense, dude. He's dense. But
I think he was the densest guy in that lineup.
Pose wise, I think he needs another front pose. I don't think that hands down is a look for him.
Yeah, I think
personally,
it looks like he's almost like crunching down and almost leaning. His momentum's going backwards almost.
Well,
to be honest, I would love. Which I shouldn't even say this bullshit. I would love the double hands on hip on him.
Really?
Because
like
how big his arms are.
Double hands on hip.
Yes.
It would work.
Yeah.
Hey, Drew,
I think he's played around with it. He was conditioned, but not the most conditioned in the lineup. I
wonder if that's why he's crunching down so hard, and that's screwing up with his posing, because he
to overpose and it kind of dilutes it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
No,
think he just needs to. He's a taller guy. He just needs to stand tall. Why stoop down to these guys? Just
yeah.
stand tall.
Don't hide it, like Arnold said in Pumping Iron. Don't be the small guy that tries to hide it. You want to come
You
out.
gotta stand
Yeah.
tall. You can't slouch. You can't do that.
Look at Edvin. Look at Edvin. Notice how he's
Tall.
standing tall, broad, and almost his demeanor's coming towards you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he looks more demanding on stage, I guess. And I think Andre has like a more like he's trying hard kind of thing. His body is very crunched down. But speaking of Edvin, I know we talked about it briefly. I'm looking at these two photos and I see why Brandon may have won from the front, but we talked about the back. Was it a clear victory for Brandon, like in there in person? Like, what did you see? Because that's what I just don't
From
understand.
the front, yeah, not the back. And if you're looking at front to back overall proportion, it was Edvin in my eyes, and that's just how I looked at it. Not saying that Brandon didn't deserve it. It's over and done with. This is just my 2 cents of being there. I just had Edvin winning, and he was definitely improved as well from Pittsburgh. And it was. I want to see Tyler's breakdown. That's pretty much what I'm getting to. I'm curious to see what Tyler has with this breakdown, because I know with the Nick Walker, Derek whole controversy, he did say that he had Nick winning, right? Now I'm curious to see maybe he had Edvin winning and he just kind of switched up with some of the other judges, and maybe he got harder at finals. I don't know. To
And
me, it
also
didn't look
without
like
Steve
it.
judging.
Yeah.
Do you think Brandon has taken a step back from his 2023 stage of appearance, or is he just not nailing his peak?
I think just with that time off, and he said the 19 months that he took time off, it's during that time he wasn't necessarily improving. He's just living life and stuff. He wasn't living the actual bodybuilder, hardcore, don't miss a meal, don't miss a workout lifestyle. He was out with dark sport and all that stuff. I know he has a girlfriend, he's other things that he's focusing on just from what I see on Instagram. So that's very hard to lock in, but still at the end of the day, 19 months being off stage, whether you have 10 years, 15 years in the sport, you take that time off, you still have to get used to that stage presence. And I think that he's kind of finding his groove again. And, I have no doubt that he's going to come into Miami with a better package than even New York, but I don't know if it'll be his best ever. Just like you said, even with age and things like that, but I'm curious to see how it'd be. I know he's even more motivated. Having a little bit of a setback can be like that booster to go to the next level. And I know has that perseverance mentality.
Question. So does anybody push Brandon, or does Brandon win outright at the show
At Miami?
in Miami?
Let's see.
Pull up the list.
Yeah.
I don't know who's.
I think Brandon wins this easy.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say with the progress
The
that
only
he's already
person that
made,
I
and
know
he still
that's
has more.
doing it is Andrei Deiu. That's the only person I know that's doing
Andrei
that show.
Deiu and Brandon Cantaloupes.
And
There's another guy.
Sanat's doing it.
Brandon Cantaloupe might
Yeah, I
push
was
that
gonna
boy.
say, he
Hey,
he
Brandon
could.
looks fucking good right
He
now.
sent me some pictures the other day. He said, "Don't post him or anything." I'm like, dude, you could send me whatever. But I was looking at him and I'm like, he looks good. He's really, really
Brandon's front shot is
proportionate.
really good.
He was
Brandon's
getting
front
back.
shot is really good.
His back is
And his
nasty.
back is nasty too.
It's so proportionate. When you look at his physique, it's kind of like a Ryan Terry effect, right? Obviously, he could use more conditioning. I know that was his feedback last year, and more upper chest, but there's nothing that really overpowers anything. He has the shoulders, he has the chest, he has the lats, he has the abs, he has the back, and he has that traditional back that flows. He's got good skin. He has the shoulders, he's got the width, he's got the shape. Like, it's all there, so it's just a matter of peaking perfectly. And I know he struggles with the weight cap because we always talk about it. He added a lot of size and he still trains legs hard. It's just a matter of having that muscle maturity and that nailing that peak.
Yeah. He was somebody who really impressed me last year.
I told him not to shut it down.
Came out of
I was
nowhere.
so
I told
mad.
him too.
No, I don't know why he shut
told
it
him
down,
too.
bro.
He crazy.
He would have got it, but it wasn't about qualifying to him. It was
Life
about
is
going to
life.
Olympia
Life
and
be
making a
life,
statement.
Life be life.
Life be life. But the thing is, I do, and Brandon, don't do, if you watching it, don't do that shit.
Yeah.
That's why I took
You
it
used
out.
to do it. Yep.
I was
Didn't
told
Jim
to
Mannion
take it
tell you
out.
not to? Yeah.
They told me to take that shit out, so don't do it.
They told
Don't
us
do
when
it.
I was there. Yeah, they told us, like, he has the best back. He's doing all that extra shit. He needs to just hit it and stick it.
Yeah, so we definitely took that out. Don't do that shit. They don't like it, bro. So everybody who copied, and that's why I switch things up, bro, because they'll tell me, "Oh, this doesn't look good," whatever the case may be, and I'll just switch that shit.
Yeah.
Everybody like, "Why you don't do the peekaboo no more?" Because everybody did it. And I'm like,
Yeah, but that's your
I done
signature,
wore it
bro.
out.
You should have
Nah, I ain't doing that shit no more.
You do the
Let's
one
go.
more time. You go, I got to show him the back one more time. And then you go to
One
the
more
back. I'm
time.
like,
We,
I was like, I
we'll
got
do the one
chills
more
when you hit
time.
that. I got chills when you hit that. I'm like,
I,
okay, show
I
up.
like when you did this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do one more time.
You didn't smile or nothing. You're just like, all right, I'm gonna show him.
Hold on.
One more.
Yeah.
All right, Drew, give your top 5 prediction.
All right, let me go through this real quick. So I'm going to go down the list and tell you who I got. Just that's going to be in the first call out. So I got Brandon Cantaloupes, Ricardo Sinet, Andrei Deiu.
Oh, what's up with Ricardo Croce lately?
I think that he came in like literally not tanned for New York. He didn't look like he had a tan. He just looked really, in comparison to just everybody else, it just looked like he was 1 or 2 coats just too light. And he still has a great physique, but he looks like he's almost just digressing slowly each show.
His physique is always like
conditioned and peaked year round. Yeah.
Bro, I'm not kidding. He looks like this man wins shows every year, but also places like second, third call outs at random shows every year. Like it's such a, I'm talking about floor so low, ceiling so high.
And they'll qualify out in Italy, and then he goes to the Olympia, and I'm always next to him at the Olympia lineup by alphabetical order, and I'm always seeing him. I'm like, I'm behind him. He's one of the driest guys I've seen too. I don't think he gets a lot of credit for how peeled he is, but on stage it almost doesn't transition. But if you see him backstage, and you're looking at this guy, he's just super, super dry. His face has the death face year round. People talk about the death face just for peak. I'm like, that dude has permanent death face.
100%.
All
right. So we got Ricardo Croce, Andrei Deiu, Michael Ferguson, Alexander Gibson, Juan Gomez. Yeah.
Go Ches. Yeah.
Yeah. He is
Let's see if he brought the front up and nailed the conditioning, and he could definitely be in the mix in this lineup.
It's the conditioning for him, bro.
It's the conditioning. I don't think it's nothing else but the conditioning. Like it's
like his abs.
Boy.
His core looks a little soft, but his back's crazy. His back carries him
every year, bro. Look, the structure is always on point.
He does a lot, though. He does a lot of stuff. He needs a calm it down a little bit.
You can tell he got personality on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, it's just so obliques don't contract. He just needs about 3 more weeks.
He needs like 3 more weeks every week.
It's all right, but at least that's how you learn. It's that criticism.
I would never step on stage like that, though.
No, I won't go that far. He looks good. He's always in the top 5 every show.
No, I get that, but I wouldn't step on stage not conditioned.
Yeah. Well, I feel
it seems like he poses stiff too. Like he just hit that front. That pose was better than the first one that he came out and hit. Yeah. It seems like it's a sticking point for him. You ever hit your pose and you feel like you take a picture and it's like not as good, then you do it again 5 minutes later. It's just like you contract a little bit better by just your foot placement.
I'm a big
that sweet spot.
I'm a big fan of his physique, man. So when he nails it, he's gonna be a problem. Damn, look how young.
I think that may have been his best look.
Yeah, I think so. This Arnold was his best look.
His coach is Sebastian too.
Yeah.
Who coaches Victor.
You think he's first call outs at Miami then?
Yeah. You think he's first call out?
In this lineup, yeah. That's why I want to go through the rest of this because there's not too many names. I'm familiar with some of the guys. I think there's a few master guys in there as well. They look great, but it's just, not for the first call out and open. Who did you say? Okay, so we left off here. Juan, Brandon Hendrickson, Victor Ramirez. That's pretty much what I see. And no disrespect to some of these other guys, maybe they're pro debuts or what, but just the main guys that I see sticking out that have already been competing all year.
Yeah, I got Brandon for the win. I got Deiu coming in second, third. Oof. Ricardo and Brandon will be a good battle. Totally different.
So they all, it's like they have each other's strengths and weaknesses. So Ricardo has some of the crispiest condition, and he's a longer build frame, right? He has a more like aesthetic, smaller waist taper. Brandon is a little bit thicker, but he finds his angles.
It's Brandon. It's Brandon versus Aaron. And it's another one. It's
very similar. It's very similar. Yeah.
You kind of almost have to go with who has similar physiques that's going to be in that first call out. So
only as good as the lineup you're in. Yeah.
Brandon a little bit better. So I could see him being in the top 3 over.
I love Brandon. I would love to have him in that top conversation sitting next to him. I just think that Ricardo is going to be at 3rd, and then Brandon's going to come 4th, and then 5th. I'm gonna go with Juan.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go. Oh no,
I'm
no,
stupid.
I'm sorry.
No, Victor.
Yeah, about to say
Ramirez.
y'all stupid as hell.
Victor,
Yeah.
I'm
Victor
about to get
Ramirez
on here
and
and
then
start
Juan.
roasting y'all in a minute. Like, boy, is y'all looking?
Yeah, all right, that's my top six. Drew.
I'm gonna have the same exact top six, just switching Sinet and Brandon out. Brandon is the homie. Haven't seen him come out. He came in with waves last year. I know how much improved he is. Seeing these pictures, I kind of got a little bit more information than you guys. We know how a picture could be though. So I'm gonna go Brandon 1, Andrei Deiu 2, Brandon Cantaloupes 3, Ricardo Sinet 4, Victor Ramirez 5, and then 6 I'll do Gochas.
That's what I got.
Same
I'm
thing.
not doing no top six
Okay.
because it's pointless.
Sorry. He's above us, guys. All right.
It's just pointless because ain't nobody beating Brandon in the show.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Yeah, you're right.
realistically, like,
Okay. Then let me.
I don't see nobody beating Brandon in
We
the
already
show.
seen Brandon beat all these
Brandon
guys
breaks his
already.
ankle
besides
before
Ryan
the
Cantaloupes.
show. Who wins?
Huh?
Brandon breaks his ankle, walk into the venue that day.
Deiu.
He still wins.
He's still
The
gonna
ankle to be a
win.
men's physique.
He still wins.
No, who I really want to see, bro, who I want them to shock me. I want them to like fucking say I'm fucking here. I've arrived. Is Brandon Cantaloupe.
Yeah,
I need to see it.
that's
For you
the.
to take that whole ass year off after doing so fucking well,
Got to be a statement. It's got
you
to be a
gotta
statement,
make
bro.
a fucking statement at this show.
Yeah. Cutting off the Olympia last year just for this. This needs to be, especially a whole year. Like he
After
only
you
did
put on
the
all this
Miami last
size,
year.
all this stuff, you got to bring it.
Wait
You
a
gotta bring
second.
it.
Wait a second. What happened to Deke?
Pete Walker. Oh, I don't know
Yeah.
what. Yeah, he's not on the list.
Because I thought he was doing this because I watched there's like a little snippet on his page that they shared. He did a podcast with some of these guys and they were asking him what show he was doing. He said, I have to do Miami. It's sentimental to me and all this stuff. And I
Man,
haven't seen him post in a while because I go through these guys' stuff. I want to see what they're doing, but apparently he hasn't. So that kind of threw me off a little bit because I just started thinking about it.
he could have been second, but he could.
His conditioning is wild.
He could have pushed Brandon.
I think his condition would have been better than Brandon's.
True,
Oh, yeah,
but
for
if
sure.
we're looking at a lot of the structure, I think just in this lineup, Brandon's structurally
Brandon would definitely win structure wise.
Yeah,
Not a question.
And also Deke has nailed that peak one time, and we even seen him like kind of slowly digress. Then when he is off, he is out of that top 6. So Brandon is improving, and especially the first show with a lot of these guys. Some of them got to get the kinks out. It's first show for the year, and
Deke has one of those physiques that.
One thing I do want to see Brandon Hendricks do is hit his back post different.
How do you think he's hitting it?
His chest ain't up. Like he's just posing like.
Oh, he's a little bit
like he's posing like this.
Yeah.
So he's posing like this instead of rotating that chest up.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't necessarily. That's why you don't necessarily see that upper back pop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think he needs to definitely tweak that back pose. I'm now his posing coach.
his load up, I think, throws
No,
him
just
off
kidding.
too because he goes back and shows the Christmas
Oh,
tree.
yeah,
And then when he
yeah,
goes
yeah,
into
yeah.
it, it's like the way he sets up doesn't get him into the sweet spot. If that makes sense.
After the podcast last week, did you and Brandon talk at all?
No,
No.
we don't need to talk. Like I said, we don't. I'm good. Even if he reached out, there's no point. I've already was vulnerable. I've already gave my 2 cents. There's no if that was on him.
Yeah.
Did anybody reach out? Because that was a kind of
That was pretty big.
Bro, I got a lot of messages from a lot of people.
Okay.
is it the fans too? It's like the fans are
I got
coming after
a
you
lot
on
of
behalf.
fan stuff. I got a lot of fans reach out because nobody knew the story. Nobody knew the story, So to hear some of the
truths,
upper heads, I'm not gonna say what that is, but to get some of the feedback that was good because again, they didn't expect me to say what I said. They were like, "That's big," and then 2, nobody knew why we had this crazy tension.
Yeah.
So
it just added. I think, bro, you guys had a pretty heated rivalry. Like men's physique was extremely popular, And for you to be the guy to beat Brandon, it caused a lot of eyeballs on it. And obviously him
Yeah.
being who he is, and then you being the rising star, it made sense. It made for a good story. But all right, Drew, we got a show that's special to us. And I just took a quick.
You, not me.
No.
That's true. It was the first time I competed with my boy, though. That was
Yeah.
that was special. I liked having that like
Yeah.
backstage and stuff.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I want to take a look here at the men's physique division because honestly, bro, there's not that many crazy names on here. But
I know who I'm going with.
could this be
No, I'm
Dallas?
going with too.
Wait, could Dallas? Is he gonna punch his fucking ticket? He's gonna punch
That's
his
what I got.
That's what I got. Chris like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
The thing is, if he don't
Another show,
win,
baby.
if he don't win,
This is his best chance right now to win. This is his best
that's his
chance.
best chance.
This is his best chance right now.
I mean, he stayed pretty good. His look stayed pretty solid after his last show.
Yeah. You know what's interesting to me? When you see a lineup like this and you see all the guys that did Pittsburgh and New York, a show like this is what they should have hit to strategize the ticket.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Like
because
Andrei Deiu should have went right there.
there are names
You already knew
that are on
Brandon
this
was
list that
doing-
we know of,
Go
but
to
not
Joe Cho.
Olympians.
Go to Joe Cho.
Oh, he does look good too.
Oh,
Joe looks good. He's coached
Is
from
he's with Ariel, right?
No, he left.
no. He's with
He's not with
He's with
Ben,
John
right?
Ballard. John Ballard.
No E, just JO.
Joe.
I could have sworn I followed him too.
Got you. Hold on.
Here's his coach.
It's IFBB Pro Cho.
He looks good. But
I thought Mike was coaching him for a little bit. Was that not him?
no, what's his face? John Ballard works with him.
Oh, okay.
Cho.
Is it
not
Cho?
Joe.
CHO.
Oh, come on, man. Asian name.
Boy, you over here, boy.
Man, it's
All time. Yeah, I remember seeing it. He was working with Ariel when he did Chicago, right?
Okay,
He-
that's
he was working with Ariel up until a few months or a few weeks ago.
Nah, he ain't beating Dallas. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
He's
his
not
back
being
is
Dallas,
off.
but I think he'll be in that
He's
first.
not-
He's definitely going to be in that first call up.
I think he's top 2, 3. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen his back better than this before, but I definitely think he's top 3. Looking at this physique, he has a good structure. He's like a little bit more naturally of a bubblier guy.
Dallas for his height, how big he is, and
Bro.
how much size he packs on is insane. So it's going to be
Unreal.
the show for him. Like he needs to, like Aaron said,
There's
this is the
bubbly
show.
ass Quincy in this show.
Yeah.
Quincy's big, bro. I don't know how he's
That
making. It's going to be
motherfucker's
interesting to
so
see
bubbly.
him with the weight cap. I'm
Quincy's
curious.
so damn bubbly.
Yeah, bro, it's just I love Quincy, one of the funniest guys, greatest guys I've met. I just really think, bro, his conditioning is never there. Ever. Like no matter what. Like even in this edited lighting, what the fuck? Even in this edited lighting, like you can still see it, you know what I mean? Like
Everything's there, shape, structure. I know his
Yeah,
posing's
it's all
great.
there.
everything else. He's a big guy, bubbly. So I'm really hoping if he nails his conditioning, bro, he could easily be one of those guys. But he hasn't been in the conversation just simply because of that, though.
When's the last
I'm
time
gonna
he
say-
competed?
That's been a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
A couple
Got that
years.
212 look, man. He's bubbly.
Michael Thomas Jr. too.
I'm gonna go shit. I'm gonna go Dallas for the dub.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go Mario Stewart second.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go Joe Cho third. I'm gonna go Micah Thomas fourth, and I'm gonna go.
Oh, you guys are
I go
missing
Barack.
Travis.
I go
Travis.
Barack.
Bottom there.
Travis, bro, I don't know how I missed Travis.
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn.
Travis is placing top 3 at every show he's done, right?
Yeah.
let me see.
Travis
see.
was good. I think it's Ben's client.
So his pictures do not do him justice for stage. Like whenever he's compared, it looks a lot better than like his Instagram pictures. I'll put it that way.
Damn, this could be a show Travis fucking qualifies for too. What do you have any like stage video?
Nah. He got a good look, but nah.
I think he could do it, bro.
Be
Like I
who?
said, it's different whenever he gets compared. It's like a different look.
But be who?
Now, like I think him and
Dallas?
Mario Stewart will be kind of in a battle here before he's in a battle with Dallas.
There's no comparison
Just
with
needs more
Dallas.
time
If
with
Dallas comes
Taper.
conditioned out of his mind, it's a wrap.
Yeah, but
It's a wrap.
yeah,
There is no say no more.
but I will
Go
say
Don't give a
to
damn what
Mario
you talk about.
Stewart's page.
Mario Stewart.
Yeah, I want to see what he's looking like. I know I follow him, but it's just I don't know if it's shadow ban or what. Sometimes people don't come up. I know he's another guy that hasn't competed since Chicago last year. I was really impressed with him. He's a guy in person. You need to really see him.
It's 11 days out.
I think Travis has him.
I think Travis has Mario. I think Mario's physique, though. I just don't think he's conditioned.
His structure is better than Travis's. I'll tell you that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I just don't think
I'm curious to see how he dries out and comes together because he does look flat here.
he looks flat and a little softer. And keep in mind, he did so much last year, and he got better and better with each show. He might just be in that category.
The first one's always difficult if we haven't seen him. So
yeah, but
he looks better here than the last video.
Yeah, for sure. Already.
Yeah, a little crispy. All right.
Let me see here.
You locking yours in? All right, I'll go.
But I'm still my lineup is still locked.
All right, I got Dallas Gotchway, Botchway, and then Dan Dollywall, another guy always in the top 5. Anika Nash, another guy always in the top 5. All right, damn. This is hard. All right, I'm gonna go with Dallas, Travis, Joe, Anik, Michael Thomas Jr., Mario.
Did Anik do New York?
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
He was 6'7".
Is he the Indian guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went against him.
He has an amazing look. He just needs condition. If he had condition, bro.
I know. He always misses conditioning.
I always see these guys with the physique to where there's guys that are beating them that shouldn't be beating them.
I am gonna say a dark horse. If Quincy come in fucking condition, it'll be him and Dallas.
That's one of those situations I gotta believe it.
I know. That's the thing is we praying to God for that one. if he comes conditioned, I can see him and Dallas going nuts.
This is a hard one, man.
Because when we talk about the two bubbliest motherfuckers on stage, that's them two. Yeah. For sure.
And like Chris said, it's comparison of also who the standard is because they're going to move around guys and compare the guy to the middle and who's the closest to him for that day. Yeah.
This is an exciting show because it's guys who aren't at that upper echelon, but it's
guys who are on the uprise.
This can make them. This show can make them.
This show can make
them in the mix.
It's shows like this that can get them an Olympia qualification and standing on that stage. I guarantee I can see Dallas being in a call out with like you at the Olympia, like that third call out this year. I can see his physique comparing next to that third call out look. So
he's complete. The biggest thing for him is going to be the condition. He doesn't, you look at his physique and you don't see a weakness. Like you could talk about detail here or there, but when you look at his taper for his height, shoulders, his chest.
I think Dallas is going to be Dallas is the shortest guy in this lineup.
Yeah. I think that
the shortest.
I think that hurts.
But he also has a lot of width for as tall as he is.
Yeah.
That part.
I'm going to pick Travis winning with Joe Cho, and I'm going to put Dallas in third. I'm going to go with the smaller guys for this one.
Oh shit!
I'm going to support Ben there with Travis. So,
all right, you got Travis for the win. You got Joe second, Dallas third,
fourth, and then follow the rest of what you said. I think would be the last fourth or so.
I have Michael Thomas Jr., bro. I think people are sleeping on him. I think he's coached by many now.
His waist is too big.
Micah's going to be the driest.
His waist is too big.
Yeah, his waist always looks a little washed out.
I think
he has a good look, but that waist is blaring. Go look at his update. He looked crazy dry, but that waist is just way too wide.
Go to Micah's page.
I want
to check this out.
Was he in the first fallout with us, Drew?
Yeah, I believe he was. So Ryan Clark was 4th, and then Micah was 5th.
Dude, I don't know why I fuck with these people's names.
Give me some goddamn tacos. That's what I'm about to go do.
So, how's your diet been lately?
Pretty good. Pretty good, actually. Well, the diet looks good. You see my update today?
No, I actually didn't see it.
No, I'm living through your
videos.
You're out at dinner and shit. I'm like,
dude, I ain't out of
it.
I can't find
I have my little cheap meals, but throughout the day, I kind of stay on my fucking.
Once you get satisfied, though,
chicken and rice,
meal and you're full, you're like, what's the point,
Drew, what are you craving right now?
Anything that's like a peanut butter, like a fat, Just
Bruh,
I'm so low on fats that's what I crave.
that was me at the end of the Pittsburgh prep.
And you could eat
Bro, I
it so
wanted
fast.
peanut
Yeah.
butter. Bro,
I'll
as soon
send
as
you
I got
some
home,
pictures of the crumble cookie tonight.
I had the best fucking peanut butter and strawberry jam. Oh my
Oh,
God,
that's
bro.
been my go-to after shows. I've been
Peanut butter and
doing peanut
jelly.
butter and jellies. Yeah, dude. I'd put them on the rice cakes. I didn't even care.
Oh,
You know, I
yeah.
put them in
Oh,
my
so
chicken meal. Yeah.
you know what I'm gonna send you? I'm gonna send you this company, bro. They made a fucking sourdough bread, smash PBJ on there, put hella like it was strawberry jam,
Oh
dipped it
man.
in egg, made it French toast. Fucking bro, I'm just
And
sitting there with my
strawberry
fucking
jam is the secret,
bro.
bro.
Yes,
Strawberry.
bro, bro. Strawberry jam is the shit.
What is
I
up with
don't
the
do grape
crave?
jelly.
Hold
I don't
on.
do grape jelly.
What's up with the crave right now, sourdough, bro? I've seen so many fucking people talking about it.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen
Really?
it.
It's the
Bro,
Yeah.
wives, dude. It's
sourdough
the white
sourdough
women
is crazy
wives
right
making
now.
it.
100%, bro. I guarantee everyone who's making it is fucking putting their syrup in the fridge.
Oh my God.
I
Well,
can't-
my syrup is in the fridge as we speak, and I ain't making it. So I mean,
well, you can't make it. You're in prep. All
I mean,
right,
I could for the fun of it, but
Chris, did you see what Drew got into right before we got on?
Oh, here we go with this shit.
Oh, what is it?
Bro,
Oh my
I'm
God.
going on Instagram. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't.
so listen. Before you post this, I just want to kind of give a little background of this. By
I
no
don't want
means
any
am I
background before I see
no,
it.
no, no. I'm saying by no means am I mad about anything, or is this to roast anybody? I don't know the kid. Maybe he's a good guy or not. He had a dope physique. You know, it just when somebody comes at me, it's one of those things where it's like, I got nothing to prove, but it's like, all right, let's have some fun with this. You know, people want to throw shade, but when you give them shade back, they suddenly are like, well, you're a professional. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
And
I love
it's
it. And I got to talk from some people and my boys, and y'all told
Yeah.
me a little bit cool out, but
I,
I'm the one that's ready to talk shit back. Like, I don't play games with people, bro. And a lot of, yeah, we just gonna let that go.
Aaron, I'm
Don't
telling
get
you, look,
fired
it
up.
was, it was Aaron last week that was on Demon Time. I'm sitting here like,
Yeah.
and don't even try to preach and say it's not worth it. Let him do what he wants, because in the end of the day, he send it to us, and we're like, you know what? It's fun.
it was kind of funny
You know,
though.
it is
Bro,
what
my
it
thing
is.
is, I just like to talk shit. That's how I grew up.
That's how it was in sports,
my blood.
bro.
That's how I grew up,
I
bro.
just
So you
filled
talk
in. I
shit to
wanna know
me,
what's
I'm
going
definitely
on.
gonna talk shit back to you.
All right, so
Okay.
I commented on
start.
Ben's post. I commented on Ben's post. I saw his back post today. So I looked at Ben's post and I'm like, I just posted like a little face with the like, because he looks crazy.
yeah,
And then this guy, Gary Aesthetic, says Mr. Top 20 in the world, because it's in my bio, because it was top 20 in the world in 2023 and 2024. I'm proud of it, being a top athlete in the world of the division I love. I asked him, what did you place at the O? And the biggest thing is he just had a clown face, like mocking me. I'm like, okay. He's like, you will see Stoon take care of that back acne, bro. So I'm like, okay, you know, he's just taking, you
I
know,
want to see who this is.
personal shots
I
at me.
I love to do this.
He does all the
You know,
local
like-
shows around me. He's always at the shows every time I go to him around here in
Hey,
Florida.
and I don't know the guy. I went to his profile. It's private. I looked at his picture. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
it
it's
looks
private?
dope, but yeah. So I did, when he said the back acne thing, I'm like, oh, now we're taking personal hits. Like first it was like calling me a clown. Then it's like, okay, what did you place at the O? Like a smug response. And then the whole thing about the back knee. And I told him it was from scarring folliculitis when I was a kid. For someone who has blessed in their bio, you sure like to take low blows and throw shade. Don't be triggered because of your own shortcomings in the sport. So it's always the religious guys that pretty much want to be blessed and all this and Bible verses, but then they're throwing shade and you see it. You know, they play victim after they started it. I give them a little back of what they started, and then they play the victim card. So, and then he says, the fact you even replied shows how hurt you got. Take a joke. So then it becomes a joke, and I'm hurt because he started it and I give it back. And, you know, so I said, retract and I'll flip it. Say it's a joke. Noted. I noticed people started liking my comments, and then people started firing back at him a little bit. And
this guy?
Yeah,
that's him. Wait,
I mean, if your worst diss is Mr. Top 20 in the world, that's a pretty cool thing to be called.
Well, that was what I was kind of saying. I wasn't even mad. I thought it was weird that, okay, top 20 in the world, like I'm a clown, but you're not like, it's like, okay, Tom Brady.
I think he blocked me. I don't know. I can't find his account.
So after,
no, you have to put his full name in.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought the same thing at first. I was like, what did I say to this kid in the past if he blocked me?
So as you see, he started deleting his comment or his responses once I sent him something. So he said, "Oh no, you reply to me, you're mad." I said, "I reply to everyone, my fans, competitors, friends. Maybe you're just upset. You may not have back scarring, but since you wanted to keep throwing shade, I'll give you some clout. Your Lil Bill looking drive-in movie theater size forehead. Stay begging for attention. Maybe with a satellite dish dome, you could stream the next Olympia prediction straight from the gods."
Oh,
So it took me a
yikes.
minute to come up with it. And I'm like, but why am I negative? Being a professional or not? I'm not on stage right now. People throw shade. So I give it back. It's kind of like a joke. And then it turns into all these other things like I'm victim. You couldn't take a joke. I'm the little bro now, but he's not even at the Olympia. So I find it funny. And the reason why I'm showing this stuff, and I wanted to talk about this on the podcast, is because no matter how successful you are, whether you're Mr. Olympia like Aaron, whether you have been top 14 in the world like Alex, or top 20 like me, the clown, you're always going to get some sort of hate. You're always going to get somebody that just doesn't like you for no reason. You can say nothing and keep it moving, or you could have fun with it and kind of just give you guys a laugh, because everybody that says they hate drama, they don't hate drama. They actually love it. They just don't like being a part of it themselves.
They're saying that they have to see it from a distance.
Yeah. So that's why reality TV is, so popular. That's why everybody gossips and talks behind closed doors. But when you call it for how it is, I think he realized, okay, I sounded like an idiot. He started deleting stuff. And, maybe he'll learn. Like I said, he had a dope physique. I don't know why he's throwing shade. I don't know. Maybe he heard something. Maybe he just doesn't like me because of, the way I talk on the podcast. But we don't use this platform to throw shade. It's kind of just insightful for education, for people to understand why we give the responses we do. I break down physiques for a living. I love talking to people. New York Pro this past weekend, I had so many people come up to me and say how grateful they are for what we do. I had a guy that was 500 pounds come up to me and say that he was so motivated by our talks that he decided to wake up in the morning, go to work out before his kids ever got up, came back home, got him up for school, went to work, and he lost 250 pounds.
Well,
hey, congratulations on that.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but I know that he watches
you pulled
the
him
channel.
up. You pulled him up.
Hey, in person, this guy looks really good, by the way.
I was going to say, he looks really good.
That's why I don't understand the shade, though. And I said, this is nothing about, you want to diss me and talk about back acne or whatever, and, take personal hits at the way that I look. When I'm at a level that's, what you aspire to be, why even be that way? I never understood that. If you want to be in this division, you compete in the division, you love the division. And then these guys that are paving the way and making a difference, you could have been on this podcast for a different reason, but now we've got you on here to kind of see, listen, the way that you talk and how it is. Maybe you could just learn something from it and just kind of take the positive away from it, but you got to get your gyno fixed.
I don't know this kid. I think he has a really good physique. I know of this kid though, like Chris, he's competed around here locally, and he kind of just snags some overalls.
Plus the national shows as well. I believe he did.
Is he pro?
International? No. So he won the overall here at the Florida Grand Prix that happened 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
My boy Eddie won the classic there, so shout out to him. But yeah, he looks good at every show I've been to, because I usually try to go to all these local shows. And he's always winning it, or top two. And then he goes to nationals, and seems like his conditioning's a little bit off once he gets to nationals. But dude, he has the whole package. He just needs to bring it together. And like you said, Drew, it's like he's at this point where he could have just kept doing what he was doing and not hounding on other people. It's like, just focus on yourself if you're at the amateur level like us. And then once you get next to you on stage, hey, run your mouth, bump the elbows, do what you got to do. But yeah,
but usually it's not
but
like
he also said that, he said, wait, what did he say? Wait soon?
Yeah, you'll know soon. Or I said something about, what did you place at the Olympia? And he was like, well,
you got
you're
a lot of
see
time
soon.
there, young buck.
A couple years.
So when you ever see my posts where I talk about delusion in the sport? Now, it is a real thing. There's many guys that think that they're not good enough and they push. And I worked out with Ryan Terry and Sadiq this past weekend. Ryan Terry, he's constantly dissecting his physique and where he lags and what he wants more of, and what he has. But you don't show appreciation for what you have. You might, but sometimes you just always default to what you don't have, and then you don't feel good enough. But it keeps you hungry. Now, with me, it's kind of the same way. But with other guys, it's almost like they don't take into account anything else. They just think they look the greatest because their friends hype them up. Their mom tells them they look great and they're going to win these shows. So when they go to shows and they're not in the first call out, second call out, third call out, their last. They say it was because they were robbed, and it kind of just keeps circling. They never learn from it. And the sport is about building not only your physique, but also getting critiqued. You're on stage to get critiqued. Even the best in the world gets critiqued on what we can improve on always. Yeah. And if you can't handle that, you shouldn't be in the sport. But the whole thing with delusion, with guys thinking that they're better than they are, and then laughing at somebody who is truly successful, that gets everything for the sport's passionate. We do this podcast. It's free information for anybody to learn from. And as I talked about the guy that lost 250 pounds, I like to focus on the positive, because that's what I like doing. And it's a big plus to not only the sport that I kind of devote my life to. Like, hearing these stories motivates me. So I just think it was a little bit different. The whole reason why I want to cover this segment is to get people to understand that no matter how good you are, you're always going to get some sort of criticism. Same thing with Banks. Won Olympia. People call him the one-hit wonder. It's like, but how many Olympias do you have? Well, I don't, but that doesn't mean that, I could have my opinion and then you default it,
Yeah.
Man, come on, man. Got the cap.
But anyways,
the people who do say that with the one-hit wonders would never, bro, I'm a doer. I'm not a dreamer. I've already dreamed about this. I already manifested. I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Keep dreaming, because you're not going to get there.
Hey, that's a good point.
Work for it.
You said it.
So did you see what Terrence posted on his story the other day? I think that'll resonate really well with you, Aaron, because he put basically a PSA, because I think he saw the hate that you were getting from being confident, either on the podcast or maybe your post-win interview. But he even said, hey, this confidence right here, don't take it as like me being cocky. He's like, I'm allowed to be cocky. I'm coming for the win. Like, I'm allowed to believe in myself. And he put a whole PSA saying that. So basically just calling out everyone, like, before you start coming on my comments saying that I'm being some type of way, just know that I believe in myself and I'm going to do this thing. So I thought that was cool that he posted that beforehand.
And it was real, man. His delivery was good. You could tell it wasn't something written out. It was just naturally in the moment. And the guys that, he gave a shout out to, like Dino and Mike and Urs, like, it was a respectful way to be like, hey, listen, like, class is in session,
Terrence would be such a good champion, dude. If you know him,
he's a good guy, bro. He's a good guy.
He travels like a mother,
bro. I followed him like last year, and he followed me back.
He travels so damn much. He traveled more than I do.
Yeah, he told me.
I think I travel a lot.
He's the one who told me about India. Like, the one he did the show when Ben won it. They told me all about it, so it was an easy decision to go from there. But speaking of Terrence, you were up close in person with Josiah. Yep.
And this is what I wanted to cover.
He looked even more conditioned than he did in Pittsburgh.
Bro. Let me just say this.
Before you say what you said, bro, I'm sitting at home, literally watching on this TV, and y'all talking about the live stream, where shit.
Yeah.
When I saw that motherfucker step out, and he turned to the back, I said, he is inside the fuck out. Yeah. I've never seen someone so conditioned in my life.
It was nasty, bro.
Than that man right there.
His hamstrings.
But it had to look crazy in person, Drew.
Bro, when I was front row of VIP, I sat there, and like men's physique, I wasn't, because you saw the pictures a little bit way back. It kind of cleared out, and I waited. Like, it took an intermission. I just went to the front. I'm like, I got to see this in person. I'm like, I don't know the next time I'm going to see something like this. So when he walked out, bro, everybody gasped. It was literal, like, insanity. I'd never seen somebody that, like, it wasn't even about dryness, or it was just different, dude. It was, his detail was so deep. I was seeing things that I'd never even seen on an anatomy chart. And as he was posing, it almost was like, what am I watching? I can't perceive what I'm looking at. He hit that back pose. Yeah, I couldn't perceive it. Like, these other guys that came out that were conditioned, and let me tell you, Clarence was fucking peeled, right? He made Clarence look like he was 4 weeks out, probably even more. He had muscles in places that you couldn't even really see on anybody else.
You're talking about Terrence.
Or Terrence.
Yeah.
Say Clarence. Terrence, yeah.
Bro, look
Jesus Christ, bro. Like, how do you
It was when
like
Alex
that?
talks about painful, like, conditioning. I don't know how. And I started watching his YouTube, and Maria, my girlfriend, she translates it for me, because we're fans of him, and she's a fan of him now too. And the craziest part about all this, he's 23 years old.
He's a reincarnation of Andres Bunzer, dude.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, bro. Andres Bunzer,
he's gonna be a classic champion.
Oh yeah,
he's going to be a classic champion.
It's Terrence's year this year. Okay.
Oh
You
yeah,
think
for sure.
you think Terrence
It
wins
is.
the Olympia?
I have
Yes,
Terrence
Yeah.
winning the Olympia.
absolutely.
Yeah,
He's
I
the
love
stick when his shape, bro.
Mike, you're crazy. You're crazy, bro. Mike is so much bigger than him. And
It ain't about bigness, boy. It's
So
about
is
the
dude.
look.
No,
He
no,
It's
just
no,
the
beat
no, no.
look.
he just beat the most conditioned guy we've ever seen in a
We
bodybuilding
talking
setting
about
ever.
classic physique, boy. We ain't talking about who hella big.
Yeah,
We give a damn
Bro,
about who hella big and classic.
he is
no,
big with classic lines. He has a
yeah,
But I'm gonna
but
tell you right now
Terrence is
what's
going
gonna
to
hurt Mike.
expose him.
But I'm gonna tell you right now what's gonna hurt Mike because everybody already think Mike is an open fucking bodybuilder 212.
yeah.
That's what's gonna hurt Mike.
You're going to see the difference
Hey,
when they're
Terrence
next to
got
each
that
other.
hair transplant. He's got the teeth now. He's
That
got
boy
posing.
ain't hurting.
He's got everything, bro. It's done.
I don't know, bro. I still
Go to Josema's Instagram page. He's got some close-up shots from Gilco that look absolutely insane. I just want to give people an idea of what you think it would look like not being there, because Gilco's the closest thing in my opinion.
Yeah.
That video, even right here
right here.
on the left-hand side. One more down, one more row down, right here, bro.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Mike, that don't make no sense.
Oh my god,
Bro, there's so many people that are probably going to try to achieve this and they just can't. It's not even about what drugs you take or how you train. This is somebody that's literal definition of an anomaly when it comes to bodybuilding.
That's
with
when they
conditioning.
talk about that European white boy genetics. That's it right there.
That is nutty,
Bro.
boy.
This is called dry, bro. That's 0% fat on his legs.
Even the back, the lats,
The lower
and the feathering
back.
in the lats, it's just
Yeah, bro.
it's
Oh,
crazy.
Jesus.
And the crazy
Even
thing
his
is how long he's
front
held
shot
this
too.
conditioning out. He's held this dryness for what? 8 months now? Is it 6?
I don't think to this degree, because I scrolled back
Pretty
through his
close. Have you seen
Instagram.
videos of like leg pressing and shit?
Pretty close to it. Pretty close to it.
What is this?
Yeah, man.
He has a good shape in a front double when he pulls the vacuum, but he doesn't have a good shape when he's just kind of like
Standing there.
standing. Yeah. Like it's
So I know the critique for him, because he is 5'11", he's a taller guy, or 5'10", he's my height, because I know his cap is 222 for classic. I know everything about him, not because I've been watching this YouTube, but I think it was because of his height, he needs more quad sweep, and he's exposed by where he lacks with Terrence. And Terrence has such a great shape that he could not be as conditioned,
yes,
but still win.
Not against Mike. Yes, I agree. I think
Still, like with Mike, it would be interesting for next podcast to put a side by side of their most recent shows, like Mike at Arnold, and then Terrence. I would say he was better in Pittsburgh. I would have to put a side by side of each pose, and we should call them.
I know you like Mike, and I like Mike too. Don't get me wrong, I like Mike too.
The structure is so much
But
prettier
when
on
you're
Terrence,
going
bro.
to put a structure, okay, you know how you be like, oh yeah, eBay, man, you know what I like when you put that thing on your hat, man? That's the logo for Men's Physique. Terrence is the fucking logo for fucking classic physique.
And just how I thought you would win, you didn't win. So therefore, I don't think Terrence is going to win just off of structure. I think that Mike has the size, he has the condition.
You guys see that?
Bro, it's pretty. Listen,
Bro,
don't get me wrong.
bro,
You're listening, bro. I cried during Terrence Ruffin's posing routine. That's how you know.
I bet you did.
I love it.
Yeah, right. Hey, his estrogen's real high right now.
Oh, man.
Boy,
Shut your
chill
mouth.
out, boy. Chill out.
It's the club. But on a serious
No, that's gonna be a hell of a show.
yeah.
Are they about the same height? I think they are, because I met Mike at
Yeah,
it was
they are.
funny because I was sitting.
Mike is way taller than Terrence. What the fuck you
So
talking about?
listen to this.
Isn't he?
He's like 5'10". Isn't Terrence like 5'7"?
Bro,
Mike ain't
Terrence
no
is
damn
6 foot.
5'10".
Shut up.
So whenever you go to like Bev's during like an event or something, all the athletes are out. So Maria went there. She's like, I'm sitting next to this bodybuilder. What's his name? I know you know him. He looks familiar. She's sitting next to Mike Summerfield. So I'm on the treadmill and I can't see him because he's short, but he's like in the middle of the pole. So I walked over there and I'm like, oh, it's Mike Summerfield. I go, bro, you going to win the Olympia this year? He goes, well, we're trying to, that's the goal. And obviously that's going to be his answer. He's a humble dude. He's a really nice guy. I don't know where he's from, but he's he's a sweet dude. As gay as that sounds, he's a nice guy. You talk to him, it's just like, so I was telling him, he's like, yeah, man, you look good. Like, when's your show coming up? I go, yeah, 3 weeks. And I got to deal with this weight cap. I got to make 202. And he looked at me and he's like, 202? And I go like, yeah, I'm in men's physique. He goes, but you're big. And I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, not as big as you guys, but it was kind of funny because whenever, even guys like Aaron or Brandon and things like that, you guys are the top guys, right? I don't think people are used to seeing men's physique guys as being big, dense guys because some of them are bigger than some of these classic guys. Because the height, like I think like Terrence is massive, his proportions, but when I'm standing next to him, I felt like he was, he's a lot like not small, but he's short. So when you're short, it's like he comes to life when he poses, bro. And his waist got to be like 23 inches,
There's a lot of mass for his structure. He doesn't have a big structure. It's a very pretty structure, but he's a lot. He's for his structure.
His quads are bigger than his waist when he hits the side tricep pose and he tweaks it. And he's so broad, it looks like he's literally a walking X, but he's filled out. Like
you said it perfectly.
Just the way that I break it down when I was watching him in his posing routine, he was getting into it. You can see his groove is a little bit back. He's like kind of mouthing the words. He's like in his zone. He had his eyes closed. And it's just like, it wasn't like that in Pittsburgh. He's slowly getting back into it. And it's like that ring rust we talked about. Same thing with Brandon. I mean, and Terrence, the reason why I have him winning, as good as he is right now, he's still not at his peak and not at his best. And I know these shows are even motivating him more because he just stood next to the most peeled guy in all of bodybuilding and still held his own.
Do you think that Josiah should have won in either Pittsburgh or New York?
I'd say New York. I had him winning New York.
Okay. Even if you had
very, very close in person.
Josiah,
like as far as the sheer impressiveness. But last week I'm kind of contradicting myself, and I call myself out this for a lot because I'm constantly learning. I was talking about how just because your favorite guy or the most impressive guy to you is impressive doesn't mean he should win. So I'm looking at it through the lens of what classic physique is, and then I could understand, okay, Clarence won. But when we're standing there, bro, you see that side pose or Terrence, I get him. Yeah, the Clarence, Terrence, I get it all. I'm just gonna say rough. I'm getting them all confused. I don't know why, but Terrence, just when he was exposed in the conditioning, but everything else that he had over Jose was, definitely just much more bubbly, full posing routine, like pound for pound, just more complete.
Yeah.
So he didn't necessarily need the condition. It's not all about that. If it was, I think my conditioning would be in a first call at Olympia, but it's not just about that. There's a lot of guys that aren't as conditioned as me that are placing above me. So it's just the balance of it and the criteria. So that's what I try to understand. So I'm not trying to contradict myself. I know maybe there'll be comments or whatever, but to me, dude, it was just, I have a small spot for conditioning because I know how hard it is to obtain that. And I can just look at that guy and be like, he is fucking suffering and he keeps going. And that's because of his drive and passion for the sport to be better. So when I look at that, I'm just like immediate respect. And then seeing that in person, it's like,
and being 20
it was motivating for me. 23 years old. I'm like, I got to see some ID, bro. I don't believe that shit.
That's crazy.
I'm like, to have that muscle maturity at that age is that's nuts. Another thing, anomaly, bro.
It's like Anton.
That's another dude. That's I don't know what the fuck they were feeding him over there in Ukraine, but
all right, Aaron, real quick before we get out of here.
No comment.
All right, Drew, before we get out of here, what do you think of this?
I mean, I think it was bound to happen. I mean, it's still a show that personally I'm not going to do. Just kind of stand on my ground. It's nothing for me to, I think there's other shows that I rather do instead of the Arnold, and it's just because I think the division needs its respect. After disrespecting the division, then doing this, it almost seems like a backhanded apology. And it's just something that I wouldn't want to do.
Aaron, how much money would they have to increase the prize money for you to do it?
I'm not doing it.
Damn. Chris, do you think the prize money will be over, was 25,000 last year? Do you think it'll be over 35 or 35?
I think it'll make it 50.
What?
Yeah.
Nah, you're crazy.
It's going to be a big apology and people are still going to hold their ground.
He said 1.5 million in prize money. And last year, was it even $1 million? Was it $1 million?
Yeah, because
what was the numbers on it?
They're talking about
an extra 500K. So where is the extra money going to go? So 500K, they're going to give 350K to the open and then spread out the next.
I just want to be an advocate for the women. I just want to be an advocate for the women.
Yeah,
the women only get and shout out to Linda Murray for standing her ground. For the women to only get $118,000, man. That wow. Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow. So
Yeah.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's not, it was never more to begin with. And, I'm not,
And
Arnold's
my
bank account, but to
my
have
whole
that much
thing
money.
was, bro, is I don't even want to speak on this shit, bro. Yeah, I don't want to speak on it.
What do you
Because I'm
think
gonna
about
go
the battle
in and I'm gonna
between
go too far left.
what do you think about the battle between the Arnold and the Olympia? Like, there's
Olympia is the epitome, bro. There's no question. Arnold's never going to be where the Olympia is. Never. The
you
Olympia is
That's
the
why
best of
he's
the best.
yeah.
is there a world where the Arnold increases the prize money more than the Olympia?
They can, but it's not going to make it better than the Olympia. You already got the top athletes not doing it.
I think it takes one or two athletes to say, "I'll do the Arnold." Well, I don't think. Never mind. I don't see a world where they choose the Arnold over the Olympia.
No, bro. No. You got to qualify for the Olympia. The Arnold, you're still getting an invite. And a lot of it is the resume with these guys that get accepted. But I never seen a guy that was really
Bro, look at the
denied, to be
guys who
honest.
get invited to the Arnold. Look at the fuck about an invite. Stop the cat.
I don't know. I think you don't think the prize money will carry a lot of that, like prestige.
No.
No,
Nope.
bro. A lot of these athletes don't necessarily do it for the money. Like me, for example, when I got into this, it was never about the money. When I won a show, it was just a plus. It
Yeah,
was
but
dope.
I think it's different though. I think when you're consistently winning shows, like if you say decide to do 5 shows in a season, you're winning 4 of them, you're gonna start thinking about doing shows for prize money. Like you don't think
Not really.
you don't think people's gonna go to Dubai, for example, to go get that bag? Like, there's no fucking way. Aaron, you're not going to Dubai last year if it wasn't for that bag. Because you knew there's a 90 fucking 9% chance you're going to the show and winning. And you
No,
did.
I needed some money to write off. That's what I needed. It ain't I don't do shows to just do a show.
I would
I
never
do
pick a
show
show specifically
strategically.
just for the money.
It ain't about the money. I make enough.
Okay, but not a
Enough.
lot of people have the money that you make outside of bodybuilding.
But the top guys, do they? They do.
Ali Bilal, yes. Ryan Terry, yes. Aaron, Emmanuel
So
Hunter.
at that point,
People like Emmanuel Hunter. There's people who are in that top 5 conversation, even top 8, who, again, you would never expect it. You would never expect their top 8 in the world, right? There's outside of the top 3, start going down the list, right? Maybe the Brazilians do really well with that crazy Inter-America sponsorship.
I think we're thinking too deeply into it, right? I think that, yeah, there are sponsorships. There are guys that probably don't make as much, but sometimes it's the travel too, bro. Like, I don't care how much Dubai was for me, even if I was like in the mix and favored to win with me and traveling, I can't do it. I struggle with it. I would never, and there's a lot of people that are the same way with prep. Like, I don't think there's a lot of guys that just do it for the money. The money could help want you to do it more, but I mean, once all the people that said they were going to do Dubai last year because of the prize money, a lot of them didn't do it. They talked about doing it.
Aaron was doing it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. But even if Aaron didn't, I still think those guys wouldn't have done it. I'm just being honest. Like traveling, it's there's a lot that you got to do. And what happens if you don't win? You spend, 10 grand getting there and then you don't, you know what I mean? You're actually breaking.
But you got sponsors. That's the thing. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
You got sponsors. So my sponsors pay for everything. I didn't pay for a dime in Dubai.
Yeah.
And then when I got there, they treated me like a king and gave me Ferraris and all this other crazy shit. But
wait, seriously?
Yeah,
bro,
his story, he was like outside this gym and they were letting him drive whatever.
Bro, I got whatever I want.
Ferrari out there, bro, is like a
Royce.
Toyota here.
They told me when I come back, next time you come back, we'll have a Bugatti waiting for you at the airport.
We'll ship it back home with you.
Yeah.
Please take it. Please take it.
But they don't know I'm coming back for New Year's. Me and my girl, we going to Dubai for New Year's this year. That's already booked too.
Do it without prep. That's the best part to do.
I'm not prep. That's after I'm done.
No, I'm saying that's the best way to do it because then you can enjoy it. Obviously, when you're there on a prep, it's not necessarily a vacation. I'm planning on doing a vacation this year for the first time ever. I never left the country other than Canada. When I'm in prep, like it's almost like my girlfriend's in prep too.
All right.
So it's almost like a little break for us to go.
Bro, just leave America. It's the best feeling, bro, when you don't have to worry about certain shit.
Diet, training, workouts, take a break, and just enjoy life.
Open your brain up, bro. Network with the people in that country. Network with the people in that city. Bro, I made so many crazy connections on every place that I've went. I made sure I got a connection.
Drew,
when I do go back, I'm good.
Drew, I'm telling you, bro, any advice that I would give to somebody who is in our position, who has a chance of winning shows, having to make a name for themselves, you would need to compete internationally, bro. Right? You can't just pick anywhere, but you need to compete.
Not just let the boy have a damn vacation by himself first, and
The
then
goal,
and then let him do.
Nah, it's better to be shredded first.
I've never been on a vacation that wasn't having to do with a show or something. It was always like, I'm against it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to travel. It's this. I got to prep my meals. I got to get ahead. If I'm slacking, somebody's going to pass me up. But having conversations with even Ali this weekend, he said he hasn't trained for 3 months. He hasn't worked out. He's been off it.
You need it
sometimes.
Fuck you, Ali.
Need it. And he's helping me understand.
Pull his shirt up, got fucking peeled ass abs.
He did. He's like, I can go on stage tomorrow.
That's the thumbnail right there. Ali.
Oh, hilarious. Here you go with this shit.
Yeah, but he gave me some good advice, though, guys. He was telling me, don't make bodybuilding your personality. Alex, you constantly talk about wanting to be the best in the world. You're going to do everything it takes to be the best in the world. Right now, that where you were heading and the pattern you were going, there was things that needed to be figured out with health and coming off stuff and kind of, understanding your body so you could clear out and then kind of reset with a coach who may take you to that next level. It sucks doing it, but it's that one step back, 2 steps forward mentality. And that's what Ali told me. He said after 2023 Olympia, when he was damn near last call out, he took like 3-4 months away from the gym. And when he got back in the gym, he said his wife was like, you're blowing up. We're going to have to, plan an earlier show or whatever. And that's when he went into these shows. He was very dominant. His body was rested, almost looked like he went to the hyperbolic time chamber and came out like muscle maturity, the fullness. He was rested and everything was improved. And I'm starting to think like, hey, you know what? I'm going to give myself a vacation. Not only do I deserve it, Maria deserves it. She's just in this prep with me as well. We don't go out to dinners and anything like that. So I think it would be a nice little break before I go back into the Olympia prep and, all of that. So I'm kind of looking at it not just as making like bodybuilding the number one priority. It's kind of like having the balance with it.
Yeah. Ali is extremely well-spoken. He's extremely educated. He's somebody who comes prepared, as you saw on the podcast that we've done. So when he speaks, I listen, right? He's one of those people who
you take a lot away from what he says as well. Every time we talk, I take something away from it.
Every time, man. And then he gives me a good understanding of the importance of taking a step back to take multiple steps forward. I don't think most people can do it the way he did it, but I also see it in Aaron when he takes steps back and he's coming back. And a lot of this is more mental than it is physical. And if taking that,
it's all mental. Ain't shit physical. I'll tell you that.
That's what I'm saying. So if the mental, if you were
only things that are physical are the easiest parts, training. That's the easiest part.
So easy.
Everything else, that's what we enjoy. But everything else, the meals, the preparation, that's the hard part. Finding an Instagram caption to make a post is even a harder part than just the workout itself. I got to ask ChatGPT what I could come up with here. Got prep brain.
Nah, but there's a lot of people I've learned from in this. Ryan Terry, he's same way. I think he's come with so much maturity and so much wisdom every time he speaks. Ali, Aaron, I've learned so much from you from the family side of things that gave me different perspective. Same thing with Sadiq, man. We've had some, I think the cool thing about the bodybuilding community is that it's big, but it's also small at the same time. And also at the top, it's not like you can't reach out to the majority of them. You can always get value from them, close value. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those conversations. And I think that's the best part. Aaron, I saw you on fucking FaceTime with a 12-year-old kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it's crazy. You know how many messages I got now? Can you do that for my son? Can you do that for my son?
Like a cameo?
It's sporadic, and I don't want to get it to that point to where I'm just doing that all the time. Yeah. It's of course. I mean, it's my coach calling me. I didn't know he was calling me with a 12-year-old boy on the phone. I thought he was calling me just to say, "Hey, what's up? The kids are having fun." And the kids, it was their birthday that they were celebrating. So I was supposed to go, but ended up coming to Texas. So I didn't know I didn't even know Perla freaking recorded it. I'm like, when did you record it? She was like, you was just already on the phone. And I was like, all right, whatever. So it's just things like that, man. And just, I think a lot of more popular bodybuilders or just popular people in general should just also take a step back, take that time to reach back out to the youth. Because
like it's cool because like our top guys are right there. Like you can have a conversation,
Literally.
you can learn so much from them, and that's why I think the niche side of the sport is cool because again,
You never know by what you say to somebody how much could actually change their life.
The impact.
Like
The
a kid
impact is
like that,
crazy,
man, that goes to school and he tells him he talked to Mr. Olympia and he said, hey, listen,
bro.
I'm doing, that's you never know. It could take a kid from being low in self-esteem to, being really depressed to kind of having him change his life to
Bro, look what
potentially
I
being a
just
pro one day.
reposted on my page, on my story. Alex,
bro, forgot my name for a second.
I did.
And Alex forgot how to type in other names to
Literally
figure out where the hell they're at.
So before you show it or whatever the case may be, so you guys know Drew, right? The Fit Body coach.
Yeah. Brandon.
So yeah. So that like he close to him, super close to him. So thing is, he had a client that he wanted me to take a look at. And previously, this was like for the Arnold,
Is this it?
yeah, that's it. It was for the Arnold prep. He was showing me like, oh man, my guy's gonna do good, blah, blah, blah. He looks good. What do you think about his posing? So I told him a couple of things that he needed to work on his posing. So he just did a show this past weekend, and it was between him and the other guy.
Oh wait,
and they said it was really close. It was tight. So next thing you know, Drew messaged you. I'm like, what is the fool what? Like, you bugging me again? No, I just messaged you. But he messaged me. He's like, what do you think? There's two poses that my guy's doing. One, he's kind of angled a little bit much, like too much. And then one, it's kind of like your pose, but he has a hand on the hip. He opened it up. Chest was fuller. I said, bro, you got to go with more of the fuller look because your guy's already peeled.
Yeah, no,
bro. Next thing you know, boom.
Yeah, this guy looks good.
So it's just you never know who you gonna impact. And I have never met this person, never in my life.
Yeah, bro. I told
but that's just off a relationship that me and Drew got that I just spoke on, and next thing you know, this guy just wins.
Bro, when you told
and now he's going to junior nat.
When you came backstage of New York Pro and you told me that, or outside the venue, you said,
"Oh yeah, no, I'm a realist, bro." Like
I'm just saying, it's impactful. Like with kids coming up, like, bro, that was my second pro show, right? So it's kids, it's kids coming up who are looking up to these people. So again, it's impact. And same thing with Drew. I'm backstage, and Drew's the first one to come off stage after I qualified to congratulate me, right? So you build relationships that create consistent impact throughout your career, and that's the best thing about this shit. All right, real quick. Chris has been on the podcast enough times. We got to come up with something to like initiate his ass. We need something.
We got to get him on here because I ain't gonna lie. I like his input. Like, to be honest, especially for somebody to not just fucking point at me for, oh, this motherfucker is hating on somebody else or whatever the case may be. I like his input. He'll realist. Like, again,
I want to do one more thing before I forget. So as you guys know, I got a show in 3 weeks. I just went to Bev's this past Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Got to see Ryan, Terry, and Sadiq. I do have a video on my profile if you want to pull that up. I wanted to get your guys' input. And you know I'm
gonna give it.
I don't usually talk about myself on here when the shows come up. It's kind of like we do anyways, but I wanted to really focus on this because the feedback that I got from Sadiq and Ryan was nothing short of, I improved so much that it's so nice to hear, especially from legends in the sport.
Yeah.
I think everything's coming up so much more. I never thought I would actually have it improve that much. And then hearing it from these guys is insane. It's just when the work starts to pay off, but then you're also recognized for it and people tell you, and it's not just some random person, you got a Mr. O, current Mr. O, and then another legend in the sport. But yeah, man.
Exactly. Like
Sadiq said, I can't believe how much density you added in your back. He said when he sent me this video after he left, he goes, just want you to know this video does not depict how much better you look in person. He said your front is perfect. Ryan said the front's perfect. He said, he said the back has came up about 30% at least. And small things, they just getting that lower back even tighter throughout the weeks, being 3 weeks out, being 206, 4 pounds above the weight cap. That's going to happen. I mean, but just the overall symmetry.
How much you got left?
4 pounds.
Oh, that's water.
Yeah, 4 pounds. So it tightens up as you go. Yeah.
That's water. I already know what it's going to do. You do this. Yeah, I already know.
Once we start hitting that, and I got some pictures that might show a different angle. You kind of slide through. This is Ryan kind of breaking down some stuff. As you know, Bev's gym posing room isn't the best lighting, and I think it's the same way with Pittsburgh. They purposely don't make it good lighting.
Why? They did that on purpose.
They want to make sure that you look good in bad lighting, because it's like if you look good in bad lighting, then you look even better in good lighting. It's like a method to some of this shit. I got to ask Jam again, because he told me one time.
It's crazy because whenever I see they've released a video of Brandon, like a couple like day out.
It makes everybody look off.
Awful.
I don't know if it's like they do it on purpose, or the only guy that I ever seen look good in that room was Jose.
Yeah.
I took a picture before Universe in there, and I went delete right on my phone after. I was like, nope, that ain't happening.
I can't do that shit to myself.
All right, so real quick.
No, you look good. It's just
thanks, bro.
You already know what to do, because the thing is you've put in the work. You've built the back, especially in your upper back. I see it the most in your upper back.
Behind the necks, bro. Same thing you told me after Toronto last year.
Those
said, hey, man, congrats.
He
said, add this in there. And I talked to Ariel, and he added them in. It's something that we even took more advantage of this year, especially in an off season. It was only about a 4-month off season going
behind the back pull downs is bread and butter for it's done.
It was awkward at first, but then when you start getting that groove of it, your strength
and
goes
then
up, and then you started
that mind and body that connection.
My muscle connection, yeah.
Once you get that going, it's a wrap, and it builds itself, especially with the diet that Cuts has us on.
Mm-hmm.
What show do you have in mind after Toronto, or are you shutting it down after?
Olympia. I went Toronto. I decided that, we never know what's going to happen. I'm not going to hope to win it. I just work for it. It's out of my hands that day. And I just know that I'm bringing a package that's going to be very hard to beat. I wanted to defend the show for the first time, second pro show I ever won, but having my first defending show, I think, for me, it puts a target on my back, but at the same time, it's like, it makes me work harder, because I know people are going to want to, show up. But the goal was to get that qualification. As you know, Olympia is like 20 weeks after that, or 16 weeks after that. So I'll have some time to, I'm still going to be in shape, but back off a little bit, take a vacation, regroup. And the goal is to improve even more for the O. And you saw what I did in, a short period of time just with the off season. So taking it, using it as data, and then just getting right back to it.
All right.
Absolutely. It's now or never, right?
No reason to do more shows. It'd be cool to do Chicago and all that, but I don't need the data anymore.
You like that, huh?
I've been relevant every year.
I see what you did there.
No reason to do a bunch of shows. They don't care about the resume. The resume is for yourself.
When I come back, bro, I'm doing at least 3-4 shows. And
what do you think? What do you think? You think what I'm doing?
Can we please talk about resumes one more time?
All right, before we get out of here, who has the best resume of all time in men's physique?
Me.
Yeah, man.
Every top show.
If Andrei had a fucking Olympic.
New York.
Have every top show in the world. The best shows in the world. The most money shows in the world. You cannot say my resume
the
is
first one to ever win the Dubai Pro. The first one, right? Yeah. So I think I always feel like I'm blowing you up and shit, but it's like that's just how it is. If anybody just doesn't even like you,
New York
it's
Pro,
still a fact.
Pittsburgh Pro, Arnold Classic, Olympia.
Yeah.
Come
on. Who would be second then?
I say Jeremy's first.
Jeremy Bondia? No, because he only did one show. He
only did one show.
But that's what I'm just
resume.
saying. He won every show that he did.
Well, you're talking about the greatest of all time, or just as far as if you look at a resume, what is the most?
Greatest of all time is Jeremy for sure.
Yeah.
He has 4.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about
we're talking about show for show.
Yeah, you.
Yeah. So, but no, Jeremy,
doesn't matter how many titles, just a list of all the different titles. So yeah,
every big show I've won.
I have Brandon as the greatest of all time. Aaron has the greatest resume of all time. And second greatest resume,
Ryan Terry's won a ton, right? He has a New York Pro. He has an Arnold.
He has 2 Olympias. He has 3 Arnold Classics and
a UK one.
Don't count.
All right, he has 2 Arnold
Classics. Don't count. Stop the cap.
And a New York Pro. I don't think he has a Pittsburgh though.
No, he lost to Corey.
Yeah, he lost to Corey that show. I
What
think
other ones does he have? What other small shows has he done in the States that qualified
Ryan
him
has
years
done a
ago?
lot of
I got to look at his resume.
UK's.
Okay.
because
That's the hard part. It's not just, I'm not trying to just think about Olympia. I just look at it. You won an
That's the
Olympia.
thing.
Okay.
That boy got a 15-year resume.
yeah, I think Ryan is second to me, and then
you got to remember when you look at Aaron's resume, none are less than
That
a
shit
3.
was-
Third place.
What about Brandon? I mean, he's done shows outside of the Olympia.
He is a Japan pro,
He-
but then again, nobody was going to beat
We're
him.
talking about magnitude of the shows.
Yeah,
We're not talking
Arnold.
about little shows.
Well, he has
Does
a New
Brandon
Year's
have a
Pro.
Pittsburgh?
No, but he has a New Year.
No.
Pro.
He has a New Year
So
Pro.
does Aaron.
Raymond Edmonds has an Arnold Classic Pittsburgh. He has multiple Pittsburgh pros. He
ain't got no damn Arnold Classic.
He didn't win the Arnold.
No. Dre won 3.
Yeah,
I won 2.
I think he was second to Dre as a
Yeah,
battle.
second behind Dre. Yeah, you're
I
right.
know if we had Ben on here, he would be the stat book because he knows
Yeah.
dates and everything. It's crazy. He studies that shit.
Ben's good with that shit. He's good with this.
Yeah,
So I
don't
like
know
talking
who
to him
else
because he'll
would-
correct me real fast because I'm always like, I don't know if so and so, and I don't want to ever mention the wrong name, but he's always like, he knows it.
He's smart. All right, before we get out of here,
Yeah, I don't know the show.
we have to. Maybe the fans can comment below. We got to initiate Chris if he's going to be on here every once in a while with us.
We got to whoop his ass first. We got to
He said-
jump him
He
in.
said, "Jump
What's
him
the
in."
new NPR initiation?
Yeah, we got to do something. Like maybe you got to
gotta
wear
jump
something the
him
whole
in.
podcast. I don't know. We got to.
Oh, no, he got to make sure he take that motherfucking syrup out the refrigerator.
He'll tell his neighbor that he's not a pro because Masters doesn't count. He's gonna show up outside your house ready to fight you.
Hey, he walked up to me I called him over at the gym the other day, and I was just like, "Hey, bro," I'm like, "We good? Like, you ain't gonna freak out on me for this, right?" I said it again in another podcast, and we kind of laughed it off, and we're good now.
Chris was good.
No.
Dad.
No.
Is he an older guy?
Yeah,
Hell yeah,
oh, bro. Hey. He
Well,
looks
I
really
didn't
good.
know if it's like 60. I don't. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'll
Like,
give him his flowers right now. So his name is Jack Panda Prep to Go on Instagram. He owns like a meal prep company. Jacked
Oh, I
Masters
know
Prep.
that
He's
company.
great.
I've seen that around. I've seen
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So he's a good guy. Okay, it just he had an incident that day, and he's a good guy.
running
So,
that
we
Halo,
squashed
and he
it.
wanted to pull up at your house.
Yeah,
Motherfucker
dude,
said he had an incident.
No, so this is what I
Bro
think
almost
should
caught a
happen.
body, bro.
Chris has to do a fucking master show to be initiated.
Oh,
he has to get initiated by a fucking master show. He
No.
has to.
Chris,
He has to.
this might be disrespectful, but don't even prep for a master. Just step on stage at the Masters. Just do it.
Okay.
Hilarious.
I'll do it. All right, fine.
I'm weak.
Where we? Hey, I'll do it at
I will fucking send a videographer out there to film you. I will do
Oh
it
my
live.
God, no.
Well, he's gonna prep because he's gonna want to look good for the photo shoot.
You win.
100%.
Do
You
Miami
play some
this week.
defense.
Just go do Miami this week.
Bro, I can't.
Not enough notice.
That would
Not
be
enough
crazy.
notice. That shit would be comedy though.
That
If he
shit-
went and did that.
Hey,
That would be comedy.
I'll do North Americans. I'll do Open and Masters next year. All right.
Hey, any of y'all going to South Carolina this week? Next week? The
No.
Junior Nats? No.
I'm done traveling till the Toronto.
Are you
This-
I'll
going?
be there. I'll be there. Yeah. Perla's competing, and then we're flying to Mexico. And she's
That's
gonna
right.
do the-
That's right.
She's
How's
gonna
she
do the
looking?
Mexico show too. She looks crazy, bro. She
You
lost
think
6
she's gonna get
She
in?
pounds.
looks 10 times more
She
conditioned.
lost 6 pounds. Like she's
Yeah, she looks 10 times more.
she's hitting. She's hitting. We just
Sometimes
saw
you need
somebody.
that first show.
We
and then
just
you
saw
get that
somebody
feedback.
who judges. Yeah,
Oh, shit.
yeah. It looks great.
All right.
It looks great.
Let's get out of here, fellas. Drew, 3 weeks out, baby. Let's fucking go. Finish this.
Mhm.
It's your
Lock
time
in.
now. You're carrying the fucking torch right now. All right, go get this fucking
When
Lock
done.
I get
in,
my
bro.
second one, I'm gonna have to do another one because then I got to beat Medi's record. And I told him next year
How
I'm
many
gonna have to pop out where he has 2, so it'd be a tie and it'd be like a tiebreaker. I'm like, we got to hype this up.
That's what's up.
It'd be pretty dope.
That's what's up.
All right,
Make it
fellas.
happen.
Let's do it.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, y'all.
Until the
All right,
next
guys.
episode.
Go.